Deborah, Max, are you here? Can you wave? We have Max and see Deborah, but there she is. Two other people from the American University of Afghanistan. Make sure you say hi on the way out there. Phenomenal people. Afghanistan is far, but there's someone who's flown further to be with us here tonight, a new friend of mine, Professor Dr. Osterwalder, who is an Undersecretary of the United Nations and Rector of the United Nations University. We have recently partnered with United Nations University, and I'm very, very pleased that he was able to get here all the way from Tokyo, where they're based, although we have campuses around the world that he'll tell you about. And with that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Osterwalder and have him speak to you about the United Nations University.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be here tonight with you. Not only to talk about my own institution, but to strengthen the idea and the thought that must be with all of you, that education is the key to almost everything. If you look in Southeast Asia, of all the countries that were being created some 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, the one that really made it was Singapore. And why? It's very easy to see. Education was always at the top of the list of what had to be done and where investments had to be made. And when the economy started to falter, the first action of the government of Singapore was to double the expenses for education. Sorry, I'm here to tell you something about the United Nations University. A university that was founded in 1973, a long time ago, with the purpose to have an academic institution that does research, education, and think tank function for the United Nations and for the governments of the member states. So that means, in the first place, that this university does not have basic research in mathematics, in physics, in chemistry, and so on. It does not have faculties according to disciplines. It is organized according to the big problems that keep us busy and keep us thinking about the sustainable development. That's the first point. The second point is that, quite opposite to most other universities, the United Nations University is a global institution, and it has been so from the very beginning. That means at the moment we have 15 institutes in 13 different countries. Headquarters are in Tokyo. That is where I came from this afternoon. We have 2 offices here in New York, but no institute. An office for communication and an office for development. One of the major purposes of our institution is capacity building in developing countries. If you look at the list of countries where we have an institute, then you will say, what are you doing? You want to build capacities in developing countries, but all your institutes are in developed countries. They are in Finland, in Belgium, in Holland, in Germany too, in Macau, China, in Malaysia there is an institute. There is only one in Accra, in Ghana. To remedy this situation, we have introduced a new model, and this is what I want to explain to you. We have determined that in the future all our institutes have to be twin institutes. And the twin institute is by definition an institute that has 2 campuses, one in a developed country and the other one in a developing country. In both places there are teachers, students and researchers, but the 2 components work very strongly together. The rule of thumb is that everybody has to spend about 50% on joint projects that bring together people from either campus. And for the funding, that is of course a problem for the campus in the developing country. We have agreed that the host in the developing part of the world has to pay about 30% of the real cost, whereas the host country government in the developed world has to pay the full price. And then to make up for the missing finances, the 2 groups jointly create research or teaching projects and submit them to foundations or to governments or to NGOs. This program is well on the way. The most interesting cases are bringing together of two existing institutes, one in Tokyo and the other one in Accra in Ghana. Just 2 days ago we have had the advisory board's meeting, so people came from Ghana and from Tokyo and we discussed the future of that twin institute. And another twin institute that is under construction has one component in Dresden in Germany and the other one in Mozambique. And again, we have groups from both sides getting together and making a plan, project of what to do in the future. I have to admit, I did not come from the UN world when I took this job. I was a bit surprised how much talk there was in the UN. And I decided that with my small institution, I would not want to contribute to the talk as I've done this evening, but I would try to do things. And from what I have described to you, you might want to conclude that this is an institution of yours. This is a promise, and I'm ready to report to you 10 years from now to see whether we have kept our promise. Thank you.
To the podium from the Indo-American Arts Council. And I'm told that you should speak to her about the New York Indian Film Festival that is coming up.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is an absolute pleasure to be here. I met Jim a few years ago, and I think his older sister knows quite about us, because he was wonderful in PR and wrote a lot about all our events. I am the Executive Director and Artistic Director of the Indo-American Arts Council, a not-for-profit arts organization that is passionately dedicated to giving you and the rest of New York and the country performing arts, visual arts, and literary arts from the Indian subcontinent. So, any of you interested in that, check us out. As far as the New York Indian Film Festival is concerned, that is our flagship event, and it comes up May 1 to 5. And I did tell Jim we have 2 tickets to opening night, the red carpet, glamorous opening night, as part of the raffle. So I don't know where that goes, Jim, but wherever it does, check with me about details. Today, I am delighted to be here to partner with Jim, with the Luce Foundation, to congratulate them on their wonderful work with the American University of Afghanistan, the orphans in Haiti, and the myriad philanthropic, educational, and humanitarian causes in which Jim and his team are involved. The world is a much smaller place. A decade ago, a year ago, a week ago, the digital age connects us to the glamour and fun and excitement around the world, but also to the misery and the brutality in our globe. It is strange to equate the heinous tragedies of squashing female education in Afghanistan, and I was thrilled to hear that that is all changing, and the devastated orphans in Haiti that Jim is working so hard with. Jim and his team somehow managed to know, to work with, and to aid those and more. We, the Indo-American Arts Council and the New York Indian Film Festival, are proud partners of the Luce Foundation, an organization dedicated to good and to righting the wrongs. Please join me in a toast to Jim Luce, the quiet, smiling force behind the tsunami of goodwill.
And next we'd like to bring up Karen Curl of God's Love We Deliver. As all of us were enjoying our Thanksgiving dinners, Jim and Karen were delivering great Thanksgiving dinners to the needy. Also about that raffle. that will be going on at 8:40. And I should mention your fabulous, as Arun mentioned, your fabulous prizes. The tickets are at the door, and we will be drawing at 8:40, so please.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I want to extend my congratulations to everybody who's being recognized tonight. I feel a little bit like I'm speed dating with the Luce Foundation. I met Jim, I think maybe a month ago, not much more than that. Jim and John came to see us at God's Love to just learn about what we do. And here we are, here tonight talking to you. Tomorrow night we're helping to open the holiday showcase and the pop-up store, which I think you're going to talk a little bit more about. Jim and John and Matthew have helped us deliver Thanksgiving meals to our clients. And I'm hoping that you're going to be back on Christmas Eve Day.
Family tradition.
It's a new family tradition. We love that. So we are on the fast track getting to know each other, and everything we've learned thus far has just been wonderful. So I thank you for that. Just a couple of thoughts about God's Love We Deliver. A lot of people in New York who know us, and if you do know us, please bear with me, but there are a lot of people probably in this room who don't. We're hearing a lot about international programs tonight, and God's Love is very, very local. We are based here in New York City, although we do serve all 5 boroughs of the city and parts of New Jersey. And what we do is we cook and then home deliver nutritious meals to people who are so sick that they can't take care of themselves. People who have cancer, HIV and AIDS, Alzheimer's disease, multiple sclerosis,